What's up, D?
My family, my family, my family.
Are you at home? You kind of sound like you somewhere right now.
I got these earphones on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, I can tell you, I can hear in your voice you enjoyed the movie, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. You know what I noticed?
What?
They was comparing mentalities.
Yep, between the so-called African American and one over there.
Yep. And I see why a lot of people over here can relate to Killjoy or Killmonger.
Yeah.
Killmonger. And I think there's, even though that's a common comparison, there's something else behind that. I think they still put this movie out to try to see where everybody's head is, and they're trying to balance it out. Especially considering there's so many African immigrants coming over here now.
Right.
I'm thinking that they're probably taking a poll on how many Africans go see this movie. What do they think about it? But see, what they don't realize is as long as Africans are going to start coming over here and living within this country, it's going to take them at least up to 5.5 to 10 years to really become an understanding of the other character, Killmonger.
Right.
However, considering what America is doing, there's some real social engineering going on with the African, and the reason why I say that is because they're offering the African a whole lot of opportunity that we can't get. We can't walk up into college and get a scholarship. So
Nope.
what they're doing right now when it comes to the African is pretty much babysitting them and winning over the African. I think I told you not too long ago. This was a few months ago. It was this African guy who works at my job. He was telling me how much he loves Steve Wynn, and he was saying, "I admit I love Steve Wynn." I said, "You don't know Steve Wynn." He said, "No, but the reason why I love him is because he gave me a job and he was saying that he allowed them to walk around in the suites and all of that." I said, "That's just a part of the orientation, dude. That's just part of the orientation." Well, I really appreciate him. I said, okay, look, I ain't trying to rain on your parade. I said, but tell me you love Mr. Wynn after you meet Mr. Wynn. I said, because if it's one thing that he really don't like, and I think a lot of you Africans are confused. See that white man over there in Cape Town and in Africa, he loves for you guys to kiss up to them. That makes them feel powerful, and that settles their guilty complex. I said, but over here in America, these Europeans look down on you when you kiss up to them. They don't.
Yep.
They don't respect you. I said, and as far as and by him being a Jew, he's much more petty and more sensitive than this regular European who kisses up to him on an everyday basis.
Yeah, man, but well, I mean, I guess so much I can say about Africans, man, but you already know what I'm saying, so I ain't going to even say it.
Well, this conversation, go for it.
I mean, Africans to me are stupid, man, especially when it comes to the white man. The movie shows that, and what pisses me off about them is like it's kind of like what you were saying about how uppity they were or whatever. They so isolationist, but they don't know. A lot of times they don't understand why we feel the way we do about the white man, because they ain't never had to just deal with him collectively like we have to on a day-to-day basis. So it's like we try to get them to see. They think we're just lazy or stupid or weak or whatever, but they ain't never had to be around this bully all day, every day for hundreds of years.
And they not the type of people who you share information with, especially if it's gonna, white people are like this. If you show a white man a fork and say, "Here, this is something that we eat with," you put it in his hand, he'll stab you in the eye with it.
Yeah, he think of everything as a weapon. He use everything as a weapon.
But it trips me out how black people can see a movie like this for the very first time, and simply because it's high tech and all of that, these niggas ain't never studied no history, no African history, nowhere in reflection of this, but they will swear up and down. That's how we used to live over in Africa. That's what we capable of. Shut the fuck up. It ain't nothing but a movie.
Yeah.
It is a comic book hero. And the old man who was at the crap table, who was in sunglasses, that was Stan Lee right there. That's the man who created the Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. Stan Lee. He always show up in every movie.
I didn't know Angela Bassett was in this movie.
Yeah. That was, she was the Queen Mother.
Yeah, I think she did pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think she did pretty good. And what had concerned me is when all of that excitement went down when he fought. Isn't Killmonger his brother or his stepbrother?
That's his cousin. So you remember his Killmonger is his uncle's son.
Yeah, because he did call Sister Bassett his auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I remember in the theater, boy, the girls was laughing. They was tripping, man. You know how black folks are when we go to the movies. You'll see it. If you do go see it tomorrow, you'll see how them Negroes are.
Yeah. Well, where we live at, it's not gonna be too many black folks there.
Oh, okay.
If anything, I think me and Deshaun will be the only two black men in there.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It might be. I'm just hoping that when we go, I don't hear no sarcastic remarks.
Oh yeah. You know how white folks, they like to sneak when they got the majority.
Because I'm going to say something. I'm like, you know what? You need to just sit your white ass here and watch this goddamn movie. Keep your mouth closed. I don't want to hear nothing else out of you. Because these type of movies are fantasy movies, but when you see things like that, it's like this, it still scares whites.
Oh yeah. And the only thing they need to be scared of is themselves, for the way they kill each other. With all the school shooters and mass shooters always being white, and they talk about us, but they the real terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
I know even with the school students, like that just happens. A lot of our people don't feel nothing for them kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like every time, just like with this young man or whatever, they always make excuses for them. But when we get shot and killed down for nothing, we don't even have guns a lot of times. We get killed, they don't say anything. So the hell with it.
Well, that's how they're engineering everybody to feel. That's what I was telling Patrick McGee last night. I said we're caught in a love and hate relationship. I said because this is how America and Great Britain and them keep wars going. That's why Hitler said it's good for a country to have a war every 50 years, because he knows that like for example, the reason why they're getting ready to release who really assassinated John F. Kennedy is because it's 50 years later. So who's going to care?
Right.
After 50 years. And so after 50 years, when everybody starts getting comfortable, according to Hitler, you have to send the country into war so you can keep people shook up and and shocked and walking around paranoid, and there's some type of mentality that cultivates whenever you keep a country at war within 40 to 50 years time.
Yeah, and I can see, they say Trump is going to be the next person that get us in the war. And what he acts, I can see that.
I don't care. I hope he do.
Yeah.
I hope he do. I think that's what the country needs. I think that's exactly what America needs. But they I think it keeps people more racist and more nationalistic when you keep a nation at war every 50 years. And therefore, even though he say there's a war every 50 years, if you really read into his implication, he's telling you one war is the beginning of continuous wars, because when you have wars that often and that intense, a lot of people, men, women, and children die. And so there's a lot of historical information going on. People are hurt behind it, and there's animosity there. And so as long as there's always war going on, the effects of war is going to keep everybody being nationalistic. It's going to keep people angry and pain and divisive.
Right.
And so this is how this European is keeping everybody racist, pretty much, because it's one of the most things. One of the biggest struggles in my life is to not hate white people.
Right.
It used to be my biggest struggle. I just nailed the coffin shut on them now. And I just say, okay, well, I'll just respect them when they're around, But if they cross me, I wouldn't hold back, cutting one of their heads right off their body.
Yeah, you give them that work.
I'll be friends with you at work, but hell no, you ain't coming to my house.
Right.
You can't have my number. I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want you to come to my house. I don't want to meet up. I'm not coming to none of your parties. I ain't even coming to your weddings.
Yeah.
Well, you racist? Hey, you know what? That's the conditioning. Everybody's in pain. Everybody's hurt and stuff like that. And so to me, that's what Killjoy represented. He represented the angry black man. You might as well say he represented Malcolm X. Yeah.
And I also look at Killmonger kind of had like a Tupac type energy about him too.
Yeah, he did.
That thug life type energy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was at the movies, I was thinking about Stillwood. I was like, David saw Killmonger. He was associated with him with Tupac and thug life. I know how you like to say that word when it comes to those types of niggas.
But you want to know something? I ain't boasting, but it goes back to what I was telling my aunt when I met her for the first time. I told her when she came out here, I said I feel like I should be respected, due to the fact that I never went to jail, I didn't do drugs, I didn't do anything, but I was telling her, and I told you before, I told her, I said with my looks and my intelligence and my wisdom, I told her, and with my evil streak, because I am an evil motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. I can take my evil and I can use it for the wrong thing.
Right.
And I told her, I said, I have an evil side, and my evil is deep. It is deep. I said, but I use it for a necessary evil. I said, but just say if I decided to use it for something else while I was out there in Chicago, I said I would have been one of the biggest gangsters in Chicago. Biggest gangster. I said, because I have a strong influence. I have a strong impact on people. I would have been in everybody's pocket. I'd have been all up in city council. I'd have been calling the mayor, giving him advice. All of that.
Right.
I'd have ran the whole damn city, and you would never even seen my face.
What did she say when you told her that?
She just looking at me like she was shocked. Yeah, I understand. I said, okay. I really don't think you do.
Yeah, they don't. That's why, people like you are not should even bother anymore trying to get people to understand that they ain't.
Mm-mm.
That's a pain that I've come to accept when it comes to people, man. Most people don't want. Not only can they not never understand you, they don't want to even if they could.
Mm-hmm. That's because they've already condemned you.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that I was trying to tell my dad that I have with my sister BB. She's been going around spewing her lies and her poison to everybody in the family, to where when people approach me, they have this animosity towards me, and I ain't seen your punk ass in almost 40, 45, 50 years. What the hell you pissed off at me for?
Right.
Like my Uncle Carl, he got an attitude towards me. I said, Carl, I will fuck you up when I come to Chicago. Who you talking to? I'm talking to you. Yo, we gonna see. Yeah, we gonna see. My old man get on the phone. What did you say to you? I told him what I said. I said, your brother don't know me. Well, that's your uncle. I said, that's your brother. I said, he ain't shit to me. I said, you know, everybody's been brainwashed by that bitch ass daughter of yours. Well, you shouldn't call your sister a bitch. I said, I call that bitch a bitch any goddamn time I get ready.
Yep.
I said, but Carl gonna learn about me when I come to Chicago. I said, and don't think he's gonna come up to me and I ain't seen you in a long time. I'm gonna punch her right in his jaw, fool. I remember that shit you said to me on the phone. I didn't forget. You know, because I don't see how anybody could not like their own child. You know, and as a father, I can't understand that because I'm totally in love with my son. You know, that's why I don't get my dad, you know. And it's like here's an example. My dad came over to my great grandmother's house one day, right?
Yeah.
And there was times just like any other early teenager, your room gets a little junky.
Right.
You know, my room wasn't dirty, it was junky. You know, I had things all over the place. Now, there's a big distinction when having a room that's dirty and having a room that's junky. Now, my uncles and them, they kept a dirty room. You walk in there, you can smell dirty clothes and funky socks. And they had plates down there that they was, you know, too lazy to take upstairs to the kitchen or just didn't give a damn to take. I'll eventually do it. You know, that's a dirty room. You know, I had a lot of comic books. I had encyclopedias and, you know, I had a lot of stuff in my room, and sometimes they would get displaced. You know, sometimes I would be doing so many different things at once that my room would get junky, but my room was never dirty.
Right.
He come over one time while I was in the restroom. I hear him in the hallway talking to Graham. I come out the bathroom to say hello to him. He takes me, he said, come here, let me show you something. So he takes me in my room and he's pointing at my room, looking at me all crazy. How the hell can you have your room like this? You can't live like this. What is your problem? What is your problem? Went downstairs and, you know, you live like a bum, and then go downstairs and tell my mother that I was a fucking bum.
Yeah.
And I said, who the fuck you think you talking to, calling somebody a bum? I said, you ain't never taught me nothing. You gonna call me a bum? And I went off on him, and Graham had to make me go outside. And when I came back in the house, I told my mother and Graham, I said, he don't have no right coming over here calling me a bum. Just because my room was disorganized. Who the hell is he to come over here and call me a fucking bum?
Right.
And see, I never talked to my sons like that. I never called Deshaun and Dylan bastards and bums and all of that. I never called them. I never used that type of language towards them. There's a way that you can communicate with your kids. I mean, there is a way that you can get your point across.
My father, that's something he never learned. Cause I mean, you know, let's say he's right about something, but in the way he communicated, he's wrong about it. And that type of, you know, because a lot of times parents, especially black parents, don't think they need to know how to communicate with their kids. They end up polarizing them away from them. So that, you know, communication is something that Negro parents don't think they got to do.
Well, you know, most black men from the South, they don't care what type of men that they are making their sons.
No.
I wasn't gonna raise my sons up to be angry men. I want them to be good men. I don't want them to be angry like me. You know, people say, David, you angry? Yes, I'm a fucking angry man. Okay, I'm angry. I'm an angry human being. All right? I done been through a lot of shit, and so I'm basically I'm calm, but I'm an angry person, and I'm not gonna sit here and deny that. That don't mean I'm a bad person, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I'm not an angry man. Yeah,
Right.
I'm an angry man. I am. I'm not gonna sit here and deny that. But just because I'm an angry man, don't think that I'm gonna pour that into my sons. You know, because I would never pull them to the side and say, call them bums, and I would just simply tell them, you guys are gonna have to, keep your room in better shape, and then show them, how to do that. There's a way that you talk to your children to the degree that they understand what you're talking about, and you don't make them angry. You can correct them without putting them down.
Yeah.
And see, I've never respected a man that talks down to his sons. There was a guy who I used to work with. His name was Ronald Cobb, and I worked with him at Caesar's Palace. And I kicked it with him one day, and he talked down to his son so bad. I like, dude, I can't hang out with you. And this was before I even had any kids. I said, you talk to your son like that? Well, that little nigga, you not to do. You call your son a nigga? Now, you know what I'm saying? No, dude, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. That's not the way you talk to your children. There's a better way that you can talk to him. Well, that's my son. All right, nigga, I'm out. Cause see, I'm about to do something to you. I'm about to do something to you. So I had to get away from that nigga. Because that's what I've been through. And simply because I've been through it and I know it's wrong, I'm not going to stand there and let that happen to any other kid, whether he's not my son or my nephew. No, that shit is wrong. And for me to stand there and let it happen, then I'm pretty much saying that what was done to me was right. That's your son. That's not your punching bag. But the relationship that he had with his father in that spiritual realm, that moved me because it was beautiful. And the way his father grabbed him around his neck, in the way he pulled him in to him to hug him, that was a beautiful scene right there. And I said, now that's the type of relationship you're supposed to have with your son.
Yeah. And that's how, I think about, even though I don't have no kids or even a woman, I think about me having my how whenever I do, what kind of relationship I'm gonna have with my kids. I think about it all the time. So, things like that definitely move me too.
And see, when you look at that other Avenger movie, when he first showed up, Civil War, when they first showed him and his father talking, the way that they was looking at each other, they was smiling at each other. It was so much love there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I saw that, it made me smile. I'm like, yeah, they love each other. And there's a big amount of respect there. There's no intimidation. He wasn't intimidated by his father because he knew that his father loved him. He knew it. And so it was love there. And so even in that spiritual realm, he bowed down to his father because he loved him so much. That's the way you're supposed to be with your children. Your son shouldn't feel intimidated by you. He shouldn't be walking on eggshells simply because you come in a goddamn room.
Yeah, I know for me, for most of my life or whatever, like whenever my father would be around, I just disappear or whatever. I ain't want to be around him. I ain't want to get torn down or anything, or even give him the opportunity to do it. So I'll just disappear.
Because
I know you get angry about that too.
Yeah, because ain't nothing good gonna come out their mouth.
Yeah, but even now, most of the time, even though I was intimidated by him, even now I know, because I know how he is or how he can get. Even though he hadn't came at me at all bad at all this year or whatever, you know. But I just know because it's like with him, it's like playing Russian roulette. I don't even give him a chance.
See what it is with them. It doesn't matter if they do it on a regular basis. It's when that particular person does it. It cuts you all the way down to the core because this is not supposed to be going down with your father.
Yeah.
Because you know that conversation that I had with him, that last one. Do you know that threw me in depression for 2 weeks?
I remember you was angry. I remember when you had called me that night after I listened to it. I could hear it. It was like the anger was speaking. Matter of fact, when I was listening to the call, I was like, dang, I was shocked that you didn't snap. I could hear it in your energy. I was like, boy, they're gonna cut his head off.
I was in depression for 2 weeks. I slept a whole lot. At work, I was quiet. And you know, even when I was going through that, I didn't try to cheer myself up. I'm studying myself. I was like, okay, how was this affecting me? It's putting me in depression. I was barely eating. All I wanted to do was sleep. Just try to escape. What am I escaping from? I'm escaping from the way he made me feel. This is the reason why you need to cut that fool off. He's a virus. If every single time you talk to that bastard, he does this to you, leave him alone. I even told my sons, if I disrespect you, you need to leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just because I'm your father does not give me the right to disrespect you. You know, I've been through that. And so when I see the relationship between those two in these movies, I'm saying to myself, that is exactly the way it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be exactly like that.
Yeah. You know, as far as movie relationships and fathers go, have you ever noticed, like, when it comes to a lot of movies, like, with white movies, a lot of times the relationship with the father's, like, you know, extra good or whatever, that makes you wish that black fathers could be like that. Have you ever felt that way?
To hell with them crackers.
Well, I know what you understand.
See, one thing in my study when it comes to European families, as long as that son knows that father got something put away for him, he'll get along with his father. You know what I'm saying? And see, when it comes to them, you know, most of those kids are spoiled.
Yeah.
And even if they have you might as well say common security. Parents got money in the bank, dad's got a career, mom's got a career. They don't have to worry about anything. They love their parents to death, blah, 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 blah. And some of them take advantage of that security and end up getting strung out on drugs, become alcoholics and stuff like that. So I don't even look at them. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? To me, they don't even count. They don't even count. You know, to me, if you are a black man coming up in this society, and if you're still able to deal with the world and all of that, and you still can be loving to your sons, I ain't got nothing but respect for you.
Right. Yeah, because this world will definitely take that love out of you, as it has done a lot of brothers if you weak.
And you know, this is what I was telling Kevin Irving about 3 weeks ago. When I was telling him, you know, he said, you have to give your sons your mind. No. Give your sons your heart. See, because my mind isn't too much turmoil. There's some things that I know Deshaun and Dylan ain't never gonna know.
Right.
There's some things, there's some ways that I feel. I don't want them to know that I feel like that, because I don't want to transfer those same type of feelings to them. I want them to be good, humble young men with beautiful spirits. And if they were never know their father totally, for me to do that, then so be it. But I'm not going to contaminate my sons. You know, sometimes I vent and they hear me, you know, but all at the same time, I don't never contaminate them. never contaminate them. I don't tell them how to feel about stuff. I never even told them to go to church. If you want to go to church, go. If you don't, that's fine too. You know, as long as you respect people and people respect you. You know, but if it's one thing that, like I was saying, when I close my eyes, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, when I close my eyes for the last time, I'm going to know that I was good to my sons, and my sons was good to me.
You know, one thing I think about a lot of times, whenever I do write my letter to my father and let him know how I feel, I'm gonna let him know, you know, that whenever you do close your eyes for the last time, you're gonna see like a review. You know, I think we talked about this before in regards to like when you had an out-of-depth experience. But I know it's not you. That a lot of people I've heard, like a lot of times when they have like an out-of-body experience, when they close it down, they get a review of their whole life and they see how they made people feel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times those people, they see those things and they end up causing them to change. You know, I'll let him know that he was down today. You know, he was most of what he would see would be me and how he made me feel and how he talked to me. He wouldn't be proud and so boastful then. That's how he is all the time. And you can't tell them nothing. So, you know, somebody like that, man, they just gonna have to find out the hard way.
What I've noticed in studying my dad is when they know that the door is closed, then that fear comes up, and because they're afraid, now you want to be righteous. That righteousness is rooted in hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, but the reason why I totally cut him off is because now that he is getting ready to face his own mortality, here's some new lies coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard him.
New lies. And I'm like, wait a minute. You on your way out of here, and you still slashing me. Dude, fuck you. I'm done. I just want all of my kids. I just want to see all of my kids together. If you wanted to see all of your kids together, then you would not have done what you did to separate everybody. Nah, brother, you going to that hell. You going there. And if you make it into heaven, I'm not going to help you get there. I'm done. He had his chance when he came out here, like I said, and he blew it.
Yeah, that was his dawn of redemption. That's when he was there. But he rejected it.
Yeah. And he's a liar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's very insidious. He says he's going to do things, but he has an ulterior motive behind it. I'm going to come out there and see you and the boys. No, you came out here to preach. It just so happens that this dude was in Las Vegas, and you know that we live here. And so, you know, while we're here, we might as well, you know, that give me a chance to meet, you know, to see him. And then he want to say that the reason why he came out here is because he went to my granddad's funeral, and when he looked in the casket, he saw my face. I mean, me and my granddad are twins, you know, we're clones. So naturally, when you look down and you look at my granddad, hell yeah, you're going to see my face.
Right.
When I looked down at Graham, I saw my face. My great-grandmother. You know? But then there was another time he told me, yeah, I went to the funeral, you know, I spent some time with everybody, but, you know, I really didn't care. Well, if you didn't care, why the fuck was you there? How are you going to tell me you was there to show your respects to my grandfather who got your ass out of jail 2 or 3 times because he was a marshal, but you didn't care about the man, but you at his funeral? You see how he is?
Yeah.
And so he comes out here talking about he want to meet them, but he only came out here for one reason, and that was to preach. And then he wanted me to join the dude's church just so he can use me as a monitoring tool for what this dude is doing. So, when's the last time you talked to that preacher? Why don't you call him? What the hell you asking me for? So he put me down there to be his monitoring device. And then when I went down there one time and I'm watching this dude stand up and preach, because I used to speak myself, and sometimes I used to instruct brothers on how they should move and stuff while they up there speaking, so they won't give off the wrong impression. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I used to tell brothers, you got to close your suit coat because you don't want the front part of your pants showing. You know, and you have to move gracefully, and you can't be up there gyrating and stuff like that. This young dude took his suit coat off, and he was up there in his vest, and you know, he's a nicely built dude, you know, so he wanted to wear a tight white shirt with his vest because he wanted the women to see that he had muscles. And you know, and he's up there speaking, and he's up there gyrating and stuff. And I told him, I said, you want to know something? I said, that young dude gonna get himself in trouble. He said, why you say that? I said, because of the way he speaks, the way he moves. I said, he's sending these women another signal. I said, you watch, you gonna hear about him. What happened? 2 months later, that dude and his wife got a divorce, and his wife went back to Chicago. And he out here right now in Las Vegas preaching without a wife. How can you preach without a wife? Isn't it a rule of the church that you have to be married in order to speak? So what holy hoochie did you get with in that church? Because that's the only way you can preach. You can't be single and preach according to the church rules. You ain't heard from? No, Daddy, I don't call that dude. That's your student. And he sure is your student. Because he's screwing all these women in the church just like you did. A man is known of his fruit. That's your fruit. And that's the reason why he don't have no wife. Because that night he hit me, I sure tried to kill him. He lucky Vince was there, because that bone was getting ready to get jammed right up in his brain.
Right.
And Vince saw that, and Vince jumped on me and pulled me back, because I told Vince, I said, I'm killing this motherfucker. I'm gonna kill him tonight. I said, if he
Vince stopped you.
Yeah, I was 19 years old, and he came in and hit me at the age of 19, and you ain't never did nothing for me. Oh, you dying, brother. You can ready to die up in there. Tore my sister's whole kitchen up. Tore it up. I never my life was hitting somebody like that, because I was trying my hardest to kill his ass.
Right.
You know, and that's the hate he put inside of me, you know. So it was the hate that hate produced. But you know, somebody who makes you feel like that, you don't need to be around them, because those people are like a virus. You know, but like I was saying, in this movie, the relationship that they had was beautiful, but all at the same time, when he went back to the spiritual realm, he was criticizing the ancestors for keeping that knowledge to themselves.
Yeah, and you know, you can relate that to our community now, or whatever. Our elders, in many ways, he's basically saying that our elders failed us.
But you have to look at the reason why the elders held that information back, and that was to preserve things. Now, he wanted to be Martin Luther King and W.E.B. Du Bois, and he wants to mingle with the enemy and pretty much educate the enemy on how to take your creation, turn around and destroy you with it.
Yeah, I was like, that's another reason why it was the debate. You know, like, I don't know if you've been on YouTube or more so YouTube than Facebook. I didn't see a whole bunch of people break down Black Panther. And one thing that they bring up is what you just said about how, like, that was a dumb move on his part when, you know, trying to show his enemy of the CIA that's kind of like what we said about Africans. They don't know how the white man is, and he was very African in that thing, because he would have known, like how we know, he would never show them anything like that, because he should know that the white man is evil. Because there ain't been a weapon yet that the white man ain't not only used but abused.
I mean, it's just like when that white man was trying to talk, and they started making that sound to make him shut up. He said, you are not to talk. He said, if you say one more word, I'm going to feed you to my kids.
Oh, yeah. I remember the whole theater was laughing when he did that.
That's because everybody can, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to be quiet. Because they don't do nothing but contaminate things. Trying to think of some more scenes, because I got it on right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to watch it again, because I done already took my my bath.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it tonight as well. And so you gonna watch it again, then go to the movies and watch it?
Yeah.
You're backwards, and then most people do the opposite. They go to the movies if they gonna go, and then bootleg it. But you doing it, you bootlegging it first, then going to see it for real.
Well, you know, it's mostly just to spend time with my son while I'm off.
Yeah. What come Dylan ain't going? So you said your son, but you didn't say Dylan.
Dylan's into sports a whole lot.
Oh, he ain't into movies?
No, not that much.
Okay.
You know, he's into a lot of the funny movies and stuff like that, like the hood movies. He's into a lot of gangster movies and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You know, but Dylan is a lot like me. You know, he's an introvert. You know, he likes being off to himself. You know, he doesn't have an attitude or anything. He's just an introvert like me. See, Dylan is pretty much like I would have been had I not been verbally and emotionally abused.
Right.
You know, because he's not an angry kid at all. I mean, he's beautiful. You know, he's got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful personality. You know, both of them do. They some beautiful boys, man. I love them to death. You know, and I feed off of their humility all the time. You know, I feed off of them, and they keep me sane. You know, they keep me. I'm just so grateful. You know, I don't only love them because they're my sons. I love them because of the human beings that they are. I mean, they some beautiful, good young men. You know, respectable, right. And they the bomb. I love them. I absolutely love them. You know, they some cool people. I love them. I enjoy them. I even enjoy them while I'm asleep. You know, just the thought of knowing that how cool they are, you know, it makes me sleep. It helps me sleep at night. You know.
So I wish my father and I had that type of relationship. He, you know, like most of my life, he hardly even acknowledged my greatness or whatever. It was always put down.
You know, another reason why I appreciate them so much is because I can go to work at night, and my phone can ring, and I don't worry about them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I go to work, they're even when they was when they had their own place. You know, I knew where my boys was because they some homebodies, and they love being around their mom. You know, they like protecting their mom, and by me knowing that, I know where my sons are. I know my sons are not running the streets. You know, and while they're here, I know where they are while I'm awake. I know where they are while I'm asleep. I know where they are at work. I know they're not the type of young men who run the streets. They don't get into fights. They don't get into drugs. Nothing. I'm blessed. I'm absolutely blessed. You know. So, like I said, I don't only love them because they're my sons. I love them. I love the human beings that they are. They some beautiful, beautiful human beings. Yep, I'm blessed. And a lot of fathers need to see that, And when you see it, but you refuse to let them know that you see it, that's abuse.
Yeah, because my father, he would always, even now he like that. He would always let me know what's wrong or whatever. Or a lot of times what's so-called wrong is what he perceived or whatever, not necessarily because wrong just because he don't see it. But almost very rarely, and even when he would give me praise, it was always a put down like a few minutes or a few seconds later. So I was like, whatever.
And that's just like when he came out here, right? He likes putting on a show in front of his new wife because his new wife don't know his ass like I know him. Now, when he was doing all he was doing to me, it was my mother Josie, my stepsister's mom. See, some of the things that he said to me out here, he wouldn't have been able to say that in front of Mother Josie. Mother Josie would have checked his ass. That's like when he was sitting up telling me, well, I'm proud of you, and I'm seeing how far you done got. I know you thought that I was the worst person in the world when I was doing what I was doing, but everything that I put you through made you the man who you are today. I said, no, it didn't. So you trying to claim, you trying to claim the type of man who I am today? People kill me with that. Well, what he put you through made you the man you are today. Yeah, that's true. But this motherfucker that I call my daddy, he was a snake. He didn't give a damn about me when he threw me in the street. He didn't give a damn. He told me that. Don't nobody care nothing about you. He told me that. You ain't worth $15. So don't tell me he helped create me. No, that wasn't no method. He just didn't expect me to survive and do as well as I do. And so simply because he came out here and he met my family and he saw how I was living and everything, now he want to take claim. No, you can't take claim. Not in that sense.
Right. If anything, you made it. You are the man you are in spite of him, not because of him.